Hey guys, good morning. We were going to do this call last night, but it ended up being Lauren and I mostly chatting about wedding stuff for 40 minutes until it kicked us off. So figured I'd hop on here today and share with you guys. I was going to do it live on Facebook, but I want to be able to share my screen, and I know I can do that in Zoom, and I can't do that on Facebook. So I'm going to record this, and then I'll post it up in our team page. I wanted to go over what to do during your power hour. I know a lot of people struggle with this, and I certainly did and still sometimes do, but it helps to have a list laid out so you know when you sit down to work, what do I need to do? What are the most important things to do? What's the best use of my time? Because I am famous for sitting down to work, and then an hour later, I've gotten nothing done because I've been scrolling the newsfeed. So it helps to have a to-do list written out. First you do this, then you do this, and it's all very focused time. You can work this business in an hour, but it needs to be an hour of focused time. That's the key. So I have a little PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to share with you guys. It's nothing special, but it hopefully will help you take some notes, get some ideas. And the biggest thing is take what I say and tailor it to you. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different schedule. I'm home with my baby. You guys might be working full time or, whatever. We're all in different walks of life. I feel like I have something in my eye. So let's just get to this. So this is my first time ever trying to share my screen. So we're going to go to this, share screen, and hopefully you guys can see this. So this is my little PowerPoint presentation here. Okay. So a power hour is when you take 1 hour and you completely focus on work. Now, this doesn't have to be a solid hour. You can break this up into 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here. When I was working full time, that's what I had to do. It was, I'd get up as early as I could in the mornings before work. I would get myself ready as fast as I could. And then whatever time I had from the time I was done getting ready, I had everything ready. And then the time when I walked out the door, that was my time to work. And so some mornings it would be a half an hour and other mornings it'd be 10 minutes, but at least I could get something done and I had a list to follow and I knew what I was doing when I sat down to work. So this is going to be hopefully really helpful for you guys because it has been for me. All right. First things first. The most important thing, like I was saying, is to look at your schedule and figure out when is the time that you are going to work. For me, it's if I can get my butt out of bed early before Bryce wakes up. And of course, Bryce wakes up at a different time every day. Yesterday, he was up at 5. Today, he didn't wake up till 7. So I had, and I was up at 5:15. So I had quite a bit of time this morning to get stuff done. Ended up shopping on Amazon for a while, but I got some stuff done. So it's all in whatever your schedule looks like. We talk about power pockets. So if you don't have an hour to sit down and work, find power pockets in your schedule to be able to work. 10 minutes before work, if you have like a 10-minute coffee break or whatever, your lunch break, sometime after work, maybe before dinner, and then maybe a little bit more in the evening, like after the kids go to bed. There's time in your schedule. You just have to find it and you just have to tell it that this is the time that you're going to be working. You have to make it a priority. So look at your schedule. I highly recommend a planner. I have my planner back here that I use on a daily basis pretty much. I have Google Calendar on my phone. So I kind of bounce between the two of them. I like Google Calendar because it sends me alerts. So I have set up like Monday through Friday, our schedule in there, 8:30 we have breakfast, 9 o'clock is my power hour. It changes depending on Bryce's schedule. It's not always the same, but at least I have it and I have alerts that go off on my phone when I need to be doing certain things. So it kind of gives me a gauge of how my day is supposed to go. So that's an option, or just on the Power of 3 sheet, which I'll go over in a few minutes. It has this, I don't know if you guys can really see that, but it has this column on the edge where it has hourly blocked out. And so this is what I use as well. So it gives me like a good snapshot of my day, and I can see when I'm fitting in my work time, what we have going on, if I have a call or training or things like that. Okay, find a workspace. So it looks like I'm in this nice office or whatever. I'm really in a corner of Bryce's playroom. I've got crafty crap everywhere, deer heads all over the place in front of me, toys, and just a guest bed. But just find a workspace, whatever works for you guys. It's been my dining room table before. But just so that you have somewhere that you know when you sit down at whatever space it is, that's your workspace, and it just kind of flips a switch in your head that says, okay, now's the time to work. Keep it neat and clean. You know, my desk is pretty clear like the majority of the time, and quiet if possible. I know with kids it's kind of hard, but if you can find some quiet time here and there to be able to work, it definitely helps. I like silence when I'm working as much as possible, and minimize distractions. So turn off your cell phone, and turn off the Facebook newsfeed, which I will show you guys how I do that. But if you can minimize distractions so that it really is the focus time that you need. And then to have a list of to-dos. So what I do is, I have my list right here on my desk next to me all the time. I make a list of everything that I need to do for the day. Some of this stuff is like house stuff, baby stuff, husband stuff, but some of it is also work stuff. So, I need to do my power hour. I need to make a list of whatever. I need to text certain people, just random stuff that I think of. I want to send out thank you cards, and I need to send a gift to one of my challengers and things like that. If you have a to-do list of extra stuff that's not on the Power of Threes sheet, that's super helpful so you can remember, because I don't know if your brain's like mine, but I can't retain everything that is going on in here. I need to get it down on paper, and I need to be able to cross it off, and it makes me feel good because it makes me feel like I'm actually getting stuff done. So having a to-do list is huge. And then also to be able to use a tracker, which is the Power of Threes sheet. You don't have to use this. This is working really well for me. I was going to create a new one, but you know what? I feel like this one is pretty good. And then when I was creating it, I was like, pretty much this has everything that I need on it. And it's working great for me. But to be able to really track and write down that you're doing things, it makes it good so that you can see, okay, I really did, talk to all these people, or I need to, follow up with one more person today or whatever. So having a tracker so that you can really keep track of what's going on. Okay. So first things first. So this is going to be in order of how I do things. Number one is always personal development. At least 10 minutes a day. So like this morning, so I don't know if you guys have read The Miracle Morning. I highly recommend reading it. I downloaded the audio book. I would probably suggest ordering or buying the hard copy so you can highlight and make notes and things. And I don't really like the guy that reads the audio one. I don't know, you kind of have to enjoy listening to someone's voice if you're going to listen to the whole book. And I've listened to it, but it's not my favorite. But find something 10 minutes a day at least, personal development wise, and it should always be number one. So whether it's, if you're listening to personal development while you're doing your workout, sometimes I'll do that because I get sick of listening to Autumn's voice. Or just sitting down to read. I've got my devotional and my journal back here, and I'll pull that out for a few minutes. Something. It can be anything that you guys like. If you enjoy sitting down and reading, great. Get a hard copy of a book. I don't. So pretty much the only thing I ever read hard copy is my devotional. I'm always listening to an audiobook or a podcast or watching YouTube videos, like always. It helps so much just to get your mind right, to, kind of get your juices flowing and get you in a good state of mind so that you can message people in a positive light rather than like, I don't want to really be doing this right now kind of a thing. So 10 minutes of personal development right off the bat. Do that first before you do any work. Okay, check into your group. So after I've done my personal development, and I also didn't put on here workout and drink your shake. Those should be, no-brainers at this point, but that's really important to get in some time during the day. Okay, anyway, so check into your group. So my number one tip for checking into your group so that you don't get overwhelmed and you don't forget a group is to have a list of the groups that you need to check into. So I have a list up here on my bulletin board back here. And it's in order of how I check into them every single day. So number one on that list is my accountability group, the group that the challenge group that I'm running for the month. That's number one, because if Bryce wakes up from his nap 15 minutes after he went down and I got to go down and grab him, and I don't get anything else done, at least I've checked into my groups. Those are your customers. They've bought something from you, or they've committed to you if they haven't quite bought anything yet, but they're committed to your challenge group with you. You need to be investing in them because they have invested in you. So it's really important to check in first thing in the morning with your group. Right now I'm in between groups, so this week's list is pretty small. I change my list every week depending on the group I have going on. Last week I had a ton. I had my accountability group, my water group, my Dash to Emerald group, my coaching groups and Meg's mentorship and all that kind of stuff. But write out a list of the groups that you need to check into. So your challenge group, and then if you're running a free group, those are your top two. Then after that would be our personally sponsored group, the coaching group that you're in with me. And then after that would be any like training groups that you're in, like the Dash to Emerald group. And then at the bottom of the list would be the Team Fit Addicted Important Info group. I usually post pretty consistently what Meg posts. So if you get overwhelmed with having too many groups to check in, at least check into our team page. Because it's usually pretty much the same as Meg's. But having that list so that you know what you're doing and who you're checking in with, and you can just go in and get out and be on your way. So that's the next thing. Don't dilly-dally in there. Get in, have a purpose, have your post ready to go or whatever. Comment on people's page or on people's posts and then be done. So it really shouldn't take you long at all. 10 minutes is really the max that it should take you. It's really helpful to schedule your challenge group posts ahead of time. I stink at running my challenge groups if I don't have my post schedule, and I will fully admit that, because then you're trying to scramble in the morning to try to get a post up. You don't know, there's no flow to your group because maybe you don't have it planned, or at least this is what I do if I don't schedule my posts. Or I plan to put my post up. I don't know what my cats are doing right now. I plan to put my post up at 7 a.m. and then Bryce is, wakes up at 7 and needs his bottle and stuff. And then my post doesn't go up until noon because my day gets crazy. So having those posts scheduled, and then it also saves you time when you're doing this check-in into your groups. You can easily, you've already have your post scheduled. You can easily just go in, post your workout or your Shakeology and be done. The other thing, if I know I have a post scheduled for 7 a.m., I'm not going to go in and post my workout picture at 6:45 because it's too close to my next post. It's better to space your posts out so people get notifications throughout the day that people are posting in the group. So what I'll do is I'll set my alarm on my phone to go off for like 11 or whatever time that I want to post my workout picture. And that way I remember to post it, because my brain, like I said, is crazy and I don't remember these things. And that way you're remembering to post it in your group is really important. So check into groups. Easy peasy, nothing to it. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is to make sure that you have them in your favorites bar. So if you look over here, I have like a million groups in my favorites, but our accountability groups and just basically any of the groups that I need to check in with, I kind of need to update this list because some of these need to get taken away. Hey. Sorry, I'm trying to show you my Facebook page right now. Okay, now I think it should be sharing my Facebook. So yeah, I think it is. So yeah, so these are all my favorites. have whatever groups that you're checking into be on your favorites list. So you could just easily click on them. You don't have to go find them in the groups tab. Super easy. The other thing I wanted to mention is this newsfeed eradicator. So if you're somebody that gets distracted by the newsfeed, because I mean, I definitely do a lot. It's just, you just Google newsfeed eradicator and you it's like an app or whatever, a widget that you download, and it helps so much because I don't have a newsfeed on my computer. It's still on my phone. So if I want to scroll the newsfeed, then I'll do that on my phone, like after my work time. But when I'm sitting down to work, I try to work mostly on my computer. My newsfeed is not there, so it's not distracting me. If I want to pull up a certain person, their whole page will come up and I can see their posts that way. But as far as seeing everybody's posts that I'm friends with, that doesn't show up on my computer, and I love that. Love it. So yeah, so that's really helpful. Okay, I should be back to it in my PowerPoint now. All right, so that's enough about checking into groups. So after I've checked into my groups, the next thing I do is I answer messages. Okay, and the way that I do this is I go onto Facebook first. My newsfeed isn't there, so I'm not distracted by that. I answer my messages in oldest to newest. So the person that messaged me, last night at 8 o'clock or whatever time gets answered first before the person that messaged me at 7 o'clock this morning. That way, you're just keeping people in order, and you're going oldest to newest. I try not to answer or to open people's messages from my phone if I know that I can't answer them right away. That way they stay in your unread. And then if I can share my Facebook with you guys again real quick. Then they're in your unread messages. If you go under your messages, you can see unread. And so you go to see all. I don't know why she asked me what kind of computer I have. So then I just go in and answer all these messages that are unread. Super easy. It keeps me focused. I'm not distracted by all the other messages going on in life. And it's really easy peasy lemon squeezy. So so when I answer messages, I don't reply right away. Sorry, I'm pointing to my screen because it's really important, because this has gotten me distracted so many times. You have the chat boxes popping up when you send somebody a message and then they answer you right back and it pops up, and then you're distracted and you answer them, and then you end up chatting back and forth about the weather for 15 minutes, and that took 15 minutes of your power hour. They don't need a reply right away, and this is something that I struggle with major. And sometimes I still do. I feel like, oh my gosh, they're interested in a challenge group. I need to answer them right now. When really, you need to be, instead of being the chronic fitness coach, like Meg's talked about in the past, I talked about on a Team Hardcore call, you need to be the CEO. You need to have business hours. So if my phone pops up and I have a message from somebody that's messaging me back about whatever, if I'm forming them, which we'll talk about in a minute, or if I invited them to a challenge group or invited them to coaching, I don't need to answer it right away. I will answer it next time I do my power hour, because this is set in here. I've wasted so much time doing that. So they don't need a reply right away. Obviously, if it's one of you guys, or if it's my mom, or whoever, then if it's important, I'll answer it. But most messages can wait. And I try to check my messages twice a day at least. So in the morning and at night before bed. That way, I know that I've answered everybody, and then I'll answer them again in the morning. But that's super important to not start chatting back and forth with people, because it just gets really distracting. You end up spending way too much time chatting and not enough time working. So send the message, close the message box, and then move on to the next person. And then, if you have extra time at the end of your power hour or whenever, go back and answer those people that have already messaged you back. But that's something that has been really helpful for me to not get distracted. Answer the message and walk away. Like when I was signing up with Meg, when I was talking to her about coaching, she would message me once a day. So I knew that I needed to message her back before the morning because I knew that she was going to check her messages in the morning. And I knew that I wasn't going to get a reply till the next morning. And that was okay. It was actually kind of intriguing because I was like, okay, this girl is a business person. And I know that she has business hours and she's going to answer messages like in the morning between 9 and 10, or I don't remember what time it was, but I knew that she was going to message me back at some point in the morning hours. And, so I knew that I needed to message her back before then if I wanted to get a reply that day. Otherwise, I was going to have to wait till the next day. And that's fine. Like that works. It keeps me, thinking and curious and wanting to know more and waiting for her message rather than just chatting back and forth about nothing. So it has its benefits to not answer right away. Like I said, if it's important, if it's the end of the month and you're trying to push for Success Club, then that's a little bit different. But on a normal basis, don't let your phone and your messages control you. I'll also go into my email. I don't get a ton of emails right now. It's mostly Facebook messages that I deal with, but I will go into my email during this time and message people back. And it's just, read the message, reply, super simple, super quick, done. Okay. And so I should also say, so that was the, what we do first. So then after I answer messages, I will take out the Power of 3 sheet. And actually I'll take it out before then because it could, you could count it as a follow-up or if you're forming somebody or whatever. So it's good to track the people that you're talking with. So I always get out the Power of 3 sheet. I can share with you guys that if I can find it. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, I think it's sharing with you guys. Hopefully this is all working the way that I want it to. Okay, so this is my Power of 3 sheet. Why isn't it letting me? There we go. And so I use this every day. You guys can find something that works good for you. This works really well for me. I've been printing them off every day, but I'm going to hopefully have my mom laminate one. But so like I was talking about with the block hours on the side, I write out what I have going on for the day and when I'm getting my work in. It has a reminder for the National Wake Up Call. You could also put any other personal development stuff you're working on in this little box. It has a place to write out your social media posts, which is very helpful to see, okay, how many times have I posted today? What have I posted about? What am I missing that I need to post about? Or just to be able to plan your posts out for the day. So I know, okay, in the morning I did a post about coffee today, then I want to go live on my Facebook today, and I want to do a challenge group invite tonight or whatever. It's just nice to be able to write it out and have it planned and ready to go. Okay, so so we kind of have gone over check-in on challenge groups down here. Personal development we've gone over. I said, workout, drink your shake. Team page kind of goes along with checking into your groups and respond to messages. We've done all of this stuff pretty much down here. So after that, then I go to this box and I do Power Hour to-do list. So add 3 new people on Facebook. So if we go back to my PowerPoint. So adding 3 new people, it doesn't necessarily have to be on Facebook. My advice to you guys is to find what works, what platform is your favorite, what is your niche, I guess they call it. What are you good at? What are you already on? What are you already using? Stick with that. Don't try to add all of these new things in. Yes, it's good to kind of dabble in every social media platform, but find what works and stick to that. So mine is definitely Facebook. That's where I'm on most of the time. I do have Instagram. I love Snapchat and I use it a lot. But Facebook is where I do most of my posting and where I find all my new people. So I go onto Facebook and you can search in the search tab hashtags. Like Instagram, you can. So I always search like #MomLife. You go under latest and you can see anybody who has hashtagged MomLife, whenever. And so I just scroll through, I look at people's pages. And I just send friend requests, 3, boom, 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 done. I don't spend a lot of time doing that. It really doesn't take a long time, but you send the requests out. And I just friend request people. I was requesting and sending a message, but people don't get your messages because it's goes into their other folder and they don't read it. So I just send a friend request, and then when they accept me, that's when I'll message them. So on Facebook, super easy. And I would recommend that you guys figure out what your niche is. Is that how you're supposed to say it? So for me, I am a mom. I'm a farmer's wife, which is one that I do a lot, like farm life. I love coffee. Those are like my 3 biggest things that if you look at my page, that's what I'm posting about. So figure out what makes you you, what makes you unique. The farming thing especially is really unique because not everybody lives on a farm and has cows mooing while they're doing a video like this. Lauren, I know you love Disney, so that would be something to post about a lot. And I actually have seen you post about it. One of the top coaches, Angie Belmar, is a big Disney fanatic, like huge. And she's gotten a lot of her customers and coaches from posting about Disney. So find what makes you unique and search the hashtags on it and find people who have similar interests, because then those are going to be the people that you're going to be excited to work with because they are like you. I love working with other farmers' wives because they understand what my life is like and what my bathroom full of hay is like and what my laundry looks like and stuff. Just simple things like that. Super fun. And then also I'm searching a lot of like first birthday or moms of boys and things like that, because that's me. So find what is you and search that. Jamie, I know you love doing Tough Mudder, so that would definitely be something that you could look into. As far as hashtags go, hashtag Tough Mudder or the like Mudderella one, so you're getting more girls, or Tough Mudder Girl, I don't know. You could find, there's a million hashtags on everything. So get creative, but figure out what makes you unique and search that and add people that way. Snapchat's hard to add people. It's mostly you're following them and then maybe they'll follow you back. But Snapchat is good for just exposing people to what your everyday life looks like. I love Snapchat, but I don't use it a ton as far as business goes. It's more for just kind of fun for me. And then Pinterest, Meg did a whole training video on how to add people from Pinterest. It is a lot of steps. I have added people from Pinterest, many people actually, but it is a lot of steps and you kind of have to know what you're doing. So that's something that you guys could look into as well. Okay, so that's how you add people. Super simple. It should not take a long time. I would say probably 5 minutes max on adding people. And it's just 3 people. And then, so the next thing on the Power of 3 sheet is to message 3 people. And so these are people that I know pretty much all of you have made your list of 100 people or 20 people or however many people. So you have that list in front of you. Just go start at the top and message people. And you're not messaging people and asking them to join a challenge group. You are forming people. So form is family, occupation, recreation, and then you give your message if it fits in. So what I do is I pull up somebody's Facebook page. I'll go off of my list because I'm still where I've messaged everybody on my list, but I am kind of going back through my list now, and I've added people. So people who have added to my network that accept my friend request, I'm forming them. So I'll look on their Facebook page and I'll see what have they posted about. Did they go on a family vacation? Did they go out for ice cream last night? Did they go to the fair last weekend? Whatever. See what they're up to in their life and say, hey, I saw your post. Even if you saw their post because you're looking at their page purposely, you still saw their post. So, hey, I saw your post about, whatever, going to the fair last weekend. We went to the fair last weekend too. That's so cool. Did you guys have fun? Which fair did you go to? Super simple. Keep it casual and normal. And people like talking about themselves. So if you ask them questions about themselves and their family, especially first family, is huge. Like all of the moms that I've added, when I hashtag mom life, I just say, hey, your little girl is so cute. How old is she? My little boy is 11 months or whatever. People love talking about their kids, so, and themselves and their husbands and their dogs and their cats and whatever, or their cows. So that's a good way to connect to people. So ask them about their family, ask them about what they work and where they work. And work is a huge one to lead into the coaching opportunity. Sorry, Bryce just made a noise. So a lot of people will say, oh, I work in insurance and I hate it or whatever. And then you can be like, oh, well, you know, you can kind of lead into the coaching opportunity from there. So you don't necessarily have to hit all of these points. See how the conversation flows. Sometimes I'll ask people right off the bat. So if I'm asking them about their family and their kids, you know, and they say that they're a stay-at-home mom, which kind of goes with occupation too, I suppose, but that's perfect lead in for me to be like, oh my gosh, I am too. And I also run my online fitness business. Have you ever considered doing something like that? Or have you ever considered working from home or whatever? So you don't necessarily have to go in this order or hit all of these points, but this is just kind of a good guideline. So message 3 people, super quick, get the messages off. Don't reply to them right away when they message you back unless you are done your power hour and have the time to be able to chat with people. But we're just sending those messages off and moving on. Okay, I should have brought water up here. I'm getting thirsty. A lot of talking. Okay, invite to a challenge group. So this is your next one on Power of Threes. Invite 3 people to a challenge group, at least 3 people a day. So you need to be able to have a challenge group to invite to. So you need to know when your next challenge group is starting, number 1. So my next challenge group is starting September 6th. I know this. You need to also have an order deadline so that you can say, hey, tomorrow is, this kind of goes with follow-ups too, but tomorrow is the last day to order. I want to make sure that you get your stuff in time for our group that starts on the 6th. You know, are you ready to do it? So always have your next challenge group set up. Like once my September group sets up, or pretty much at the end of this month, I'm going to be looking at October and seeing when my next challenge group. I always run one the first Monday of the month. It just makes it super simple. I can tell people that this month is starting on a Tuesday because it's Labor Day. But you know, it just makes things easy. So always have something to invite to. Also, it's really recommended to have free groups. You know, I do my water challenge pretty much every month. I'm not going to do it this month because I'm getting burnt out with it and whatever, but do something. There's clean eating groups. So you can Google templates for any kind of free group you want. I think it'd be fun to do like an organizing group or a personal development sort of a group. You could do whatever. But have something that you're inviting to. So invite at least 3 people. So these could be people that you're forming and now you're starting to invite them, or it could be cold invites. So just somebody that I saw, you know, post on their Facebook about how they want to lose weight or whatever. If you're like in tune when you're just scrolling Facebook at night, like I scroll Facebook before bed, like every night pretty much, and I'll take a screenshot of people that have posted anything about fitness and nutrition, especially whether they've said that they've lost 20 pounds or whatever, and I'll message them and just be like, hey, I have my next challenge group starting. I was wondering if you're interested. Or this could be people from your free group inviting them to your big, you know, 21-day challenge group. Those count as invites. So inviting is, you know, it can be cold invites or warm invites or whatever you want to call it, or inviting to your free group. So definitely at least 1 free group a month is huge. So invite at least 3 people. Super simple. If you need scripts about that, ask me. Okay, next is follow-up. Sorry, I feel like I've taken a long time doing this, so that's okay. Okay, follow-up. So follow up with at least 3 people a day. This is where tracking comes in. You have to have a good tracking system for your customers, whether it's a spreadsheet or Asana or Google Streak or pen and paper like I showed you guys on my Facebook Live video. I think it was last week. However you're tracking your people that you've talked to, make sure that you have a good system in place. Keep a list of people who have said no or not right now. and follow up with those people. So I keep a list every month of people who I have invited to, say, August challenge group, and now I'm following up with them to join my September group. A lot of times, if I've messaged somebody and they've said, no, I'm not interested right now, I'll say, okay, that's totally fine. I understand. Most people say that they don't have the money for it. That's like the biggest objection you're going to get. I'll say, okay, that's totally fine. I totally understand. I had to save up for my first challenge pack too. Do you mind if I follow up with you next month? Just super simple and not weird, and just asking, do you mind if I follow up with you next month for my September challenge group or whatever? Everybody that I've ever asked that to says, yeah, that'd be great. Because you don't know what their life is going to change and be like in a month. And then you're kind of keeping that communication open so that it's not weird when you follow up next month. They're kind of expecting it. And they probably would be disappointed if you didn't follow up with them. Even if they say no again next month, then you just repeat the process over and over and over. I had somebody, literally I've been talking to her since I started coaching a year and a half ago. Like, maybe not every month, but a lot. And she just finally purchased a challenge pack last month. So following up with people, they say the fortune is in the follow-up. It's true, even though following up kind of stinks. The other thing to remember is you're not bugging people. You are sharing with people and inviting them to the opportunity of either a challenge pack or a challenge group or coaching. You're not bugging them. And if you're bugging them, they're going to block you or whatever, and that's okay. Or they're going to tell you that they're just not interested, whatever. So I've never had somebody say that. You're not bugging them. It's okay. Just follow up with them. And that's something that I have to drill into my head too. The other, maybe you're not following up a month later, but maybe you message somebody. I messaged a lot of people on Monday about joining my challenge group. And so if they haven't responded to me yet, then I'm going to be messaging them back today and saying, hey, just wanted to make sure that my message went through to you on Monday or whatever, a couple days ago. My group is filling up fast and I want to make sure that I save you a spot if you're interested. Does it sound like something that you're ready to do this month? Super simple, not weird. And, it shows people that you are you're running a legit business here. And, then hopefully you'll get an answer after that. If they don't answer me then I'll message them in another few days, and then I'll probably leave it alone until the following month. But then that's where tracking comes into. So that's what following up looks like. It should only take about 10 minutes. If you have a good tracking system, you can easily just boom, boom, boom down the list. 3 people. And then the last thing on the Power of 3 sheet, we're almost done, is to talk about the business. So on the Power of 3s, it says to talk to 3 people about the business. This, I would suggest at least 3 people a week, because talking about the business is a little bit more scary, and you kind of have a little bit more limited spectrum of people to talk to about this, because they're mostly going to be people that have been in your challenge groups or you've connected with in the past. They're not just going to be cold out of the blue, which they could. I've done that before, and most people that you do cold invite with for coaching, maybe if you invite them to the coaching sneak peek, you invite them for more information. They're not usually just going to sign up on the spot. The more people you talk to, the more people you're going to add, obviously. So if you talk to 3 people about the business a day, you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to sign at least a coach per week. That would be the hope. Numbers wise, that's what it usually will work out to. So if you talk to 3 people a day, that's awesome. And then also holding coaching sneak peeks. So I'm going to be trying to do this more frequently next month. And I'm going to put them, write them out on the September schedule, so you know when they're going to be, and you know when to be posting about it and inviting to them. But these are super helpful because they give people more information. You guys weren't ready to sign up the first time that I brought coaching up to you guys. It took a while. It took some learning. It took questions before you were ready to jump in. And it's the same thing with everybody else that you're going to be talking to. So the coaching sneak peek kind of consolidates all of the questions that they might have into one place. If you don't present the business, you're automatically assuming that they're saying no. So give people a chance to say no. If they are somebody that pop in your head as somebody who would make a good coach on your team, ask them. The worst thing that they can say is no. The best thing they could say is yes, and that will help change their life. So don't hold back because you're scared because, you think that they're going to say no. Just put it out there and let them decide. And they might say no right away, but most of the time they'll come back and say, you know what, actually, I want to do this. So, okay, my voice is going, so we're going to wrap things up. The last thing I would say to do, and this is kind of at the bottom of the list because you don't necessarily have to do it every time you do a power hour, but I would recommend once a day checking into your online office. So look, when you log in, look on the right-hand side for any alerts and trainings that maybe have gone up, or news about sales that are going on this month, or any promotional sort of things. Also look for your under new customers on the right-hand side. If you scroll down a little bit, it will say new customers. It'll say like you have 2 new customers or whatever. Look at them, see, did you know that they were going to be new customers ordering something, or are they a customer lead? If they are a lead, then I'll send them an email right then and there. You have to be Emerald and hit Success Club to be able to get leads. I think it's Success Club 5 to get club leads, and then it's Success Club 10 to get Shakeology Challenge Pack leads, which is a really great bonus to being Emerald. Also look for any new orders that anybody has placed. If you know that you're having somebody placing an order last night, look this morning to make sure that it went through okay. They take a while to show up in the online office, but at least you're checking, and then you can follow up with someone and just make sure that they actually did place their order, especially if it's toward the end of the month and you're needing this challenge pack to hit Success Club. And then also check on your coach status and Success Club points. So that's your own status and Success Club, so you know where you stand. And then also if you have coaches on your team, you can look at under, I think it's the business tab, sponsorship drill down, and that gives you a really quick snapshot of all of the coaches on your team, what, if they're active, if they're Emerald or Diamond, what their rank is basically, and what their Success Club points are. It just gives you a really quick snapshot. And so that's good. That's how I shout you guys out. That's how I know that you guys are hitting Success Club or not, and what your Success Club points look like. And it's a really simple way to check that. So, I don't necessarily check that information every day, but I at least go into my online office every day, check my alerts, check my new customers, things like that. And then also I'd like to look at my volume points and see what my cycle bonus is going to look like every week, which if you're Emerald, you get to earn that and you start building a team, and that gets bigger and bigger. And I've definitely seen the fruits of that over the past month or so. So that's exciting. So that's something exciting to look forward to when you start building your own team. You get to go in there and you get to look at what your volume points are and see what your check's going to be. Okay, so the last thing that I have for you guys is if you want more results, you do more than 1 power hour a day. It's as simple as that. Talk to more people and you will get bigger, faster results. It's really... everything on here is super simple. It's just a matter of actually doing it. So like I said in the beginning, finding time to be able to do it and being able to do more than 1 power hour a day is huge. There I am. So do more than 1 a day. So like what I'll do is I'll do 1 in the morning while Bryce is napping, which I'm recording this now, so my power hour might be shifted till later. But I'll usually do 1 while Bryce is sleeping in the morning. And I stick to about an hour. And then if he naps for longer, then I have free time, or I can get, start on another power hour or do extra follow-ups or extra coaching invites, depending on where where my focus is. And then I'll do another one while he's napping sometimes in the afternoon. Usually his afternoon nap is like my me time. And that's when I, clean the house or I just take a break and drink a nice coffee. You have to have that kind of time too. It's really important. And then I'll do another power hour right before bed. So Blake usually goes to bed like between 8 and 9-ish. So I'm usually closer to 8 because he gets up super early. And so after he goes to bed, I, make a sandwich and set the coffee and whatever. And then I come up here and I do a quick power hour or power half hour, depending on how tired I am, and bust through another list. The more that you do and the more people you talk to, the better your results are going to be, the bigger your paycheck's going to be, and the bigger your challenge group is going to be. And it's that simple. I mean, it's not hard. It's just a matter of actually doing it. So that's what I had for you guys today. Hope that helped and it wasn't too boring and confusing. My voice is getting super raspy and I'm getting hungry. So I'm going to go down to make Shakeology now. But I hope you guys have an awesome day. I hope this helped you. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments down below. That way I can answer them publicly for you guys. Because if you have a question, then somebody else probably has the same question. So I hope you guys have a good day and we will see you later.